As part of our zero-outage strategy, we are working on improving the release and deployment process on a daily basis with discipline, attention to detail, and precision in every process step. The process as it exists today is defined, measured, and rolled out. However, there is still space for improvement in the implementing and use in practice. In order to address the issue, we identified the 7 habits of effective R&DM. The 7 habits create a better understanding for the nature of the process, which will help us to achieve better outcomes in our daily operation. The goal is therefore to live by the 7 habits and push them globally through the organization. Quite frequently, we hear people complaining about red KPI, the tool, or the customer causing delay for patches. And when we are privileged enough to hear these stories, the complaining can last for hours. And this is exactly what reactive people do. They always focus on the things that they cannot control. On the other hand, proactive people realize, look, even if my complaining was completely objective, it doesn't help me. So I'm going to focus on what I can control. A proactive person focuses time and energy on his circle of influence and takes ownership for the process. They are ready to go that extra mile and do something in addition to regular business activities, for instance, automation or service improvement. Proactive people focus on what can I do to improve the process. Habit number 1 is be proactive. Now imagine you're in the office. You're completely taken up by work, and at first sight this makes the R&DM process appear to be a time-consuming and labor-intensive task. If that's the case, take a break. Now think, is what you're currently doing really purposeful and process-orientated? If you switch to the helicopter view, perspective changes. Suddenly, you can see the bigger picture. The customers, the servers, and many dedicated or shared network and storage components which need to be taken care of. Change the way you approach the process and start asking the right questions like, do you know the expectations of your customer? How many components are installed for the customer? Are you aware of the actual status of your customer's components? Now that you see the bigger picture and have a clear vision of the desired direction and destination, you can take action and make things happen. Habit number 2 is take a new perspective. Now, if I were to ask you, what are the most important things to you? The most common answer I would get would be your finances, people, the process, quality, and zero outage. You would never say organizing papers or doing operative business. But we are so busy organizing papers and doing operative business that we don't find the time to take care of the process and the outdated soft and hardware components. There's a huge disconnect between what we say we do and how we actually allocate our time in the process. Please realize that it's good invested time if you take care of the process proactively. Habit number 3 is do what you say you'll do. Think Win-Win is about what we do in our daily work with respect to our customer. We know we've got a good process, but do your customers see it the same way as you do? Perception rules reality. Start looking at the process through the customer's eyes. You'll notice that the customer does not care about how we are structured internally. The customer sees T-Systems as a whole. Customer perception is determined by the quality we deliver as outcome of our daily work. That's why communication between the operation and process guys is a key factor during the process. If we keep good relationship between operation and process, we win together. Notice how different this is from me saying, I don't like the process, I'm not going to share information with you. Win-win means agreements or solutions are mutually beneficial and satisfying. Take the chances and ideas and pick them up. Don't impede the process. Instead, be supportive. Habit number 4 is think win-win. Can you imagine being in a new city and having to find your way to a meeting without GPS, your phone, or a good old-fashioned map? That's what it's like when we try to run the process without a plan. Here we go. We got the roadmap. If you stick to the roadmap, there is no way that you're missing a destination. The roadmap is designed and rolled out. Now we only have to follow it. Be sure you understand the logic behind the process and commit to it. If you're convinced about our process and understand that sticking to the process is going to facilitate our jobs, others will continue telling the story and pass on the message as well. Habit number 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. RDM means continual improvement, just like working in a yard. The software and hardware roadmap is our yard and must be fed, maintained, and taken care of. At the end of the day, it's all about planning. It might be time-consuming, but will help to run business more fluently in the future. The plan and the tools are already there. We just have to maintain the process, take care of daily business, and safeguard compliance. Then there is no need to catch up with the process like we currently do in PR. There is a considerable backlog in the R&DM activities, but you gotta keep going and make up leeway. You're in charge, you have to save the day. Nobody can do it for you. So stay on the ball and sharpen your skills. Once you get into a continual improvement mode, you know what you have to maintain and when. Habit number 6 is keep going. Now imagine there are 2 people and a tree with 16 apples on it. Both are too short to reach the apples. One is interfering with the other, but if one of them gets a ladder, he can reach all 16 of the apples. This is called synergy. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. You should always look for the opportunities to create synergy. It means you should coordinate and value new approaches. During the process, we can achieve more together than we can individually. If you are able to combine your activities, you will create efficiency and better work results. Habit number 7, coordinate. And these are the 7 habits of effective R&DM, presented by Quality Improvement.